This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all, welcome back for another session on performance testing using NeoLoad. So this time we are looking at both HTTP and real browser protocol. So let's have a quick recap on what we had done in the previous sessions. So we just started off um, with the introduction to both real browser and HTTP. So let's quickly have a recap. So real browser is a technology. It's based on mouse clicks and keystrokes. So whatever the end user is making any actions on the web page, so that is going to be replicated. Real browser also abstracts away all the protocol scripting complexity. So now we can see there are a lot of protocols. Let's say authentication protocols, right? It is getting equipped with more and more complex due to certain compliances, and it is getting uh, really difficult for to work with HTTP protocol. So this will resolve all those issues. So some key features. So Rail browser will help in rapid test development. That is, the entire end-to-end performance test suite can be developed and executed in a short span of time. So the scripts are also highly resistant to app volatility. So here app volatility is referred to any changes that happens in the business logic, which will affect the script, especially if it is done on HTTP protocol. One downside that real browser will consume high memory and CPU. Okay. On the other hand, let's look at HTTP protocol. So this burst works based on entire request and response, and of course, the only complexity that we find with HTTP protocol is to handling the dynamic values, which is called as correlation. Handling that, we will see this later. So I would like to show you what all we have done so far, and I will just proceed. Just a moment. So yes, so we were seeing this. So I'm just bringing up the developer tool. Okay, so let me go to network. So I'm just refreshing. So as you can see, there are requests and series of uh, another requests and its corresponding response. We can see so if you see, if you look at this web page, right? So all these icons, there are this hyperlinks, there is this field, there is a search button. So all of them, if you see, there all this, let's say the elements, okay, is making up this entire web page. So when we are working with HTTP protocol, mostly we will take advantage of this. That is the network tab under the developer tool. And if you want to work with real browser protocol, it is the elements. Okay, so let me just show you the script. So we have recorded two scripts of the same workflow. I will just show you the workflow. So launch this application, click on fish, click on dogs, reptiles, and then going back to main menu. This is a simple recording that I have done. So you see this, right? The real browser. So this is on the real browser. Okay, I'm just expanding them. So I will talk about this try catch and other things. Okay, for now, we will focus on this. You see this, right? There is a white uh, document with a blue earth ball like icon. These are called as real browser actions. Okay, if I expand, all this transactions. So these are the like previously recorded one. Okay, so if I expand this, so every transaction will have one or more real browser actions. Okay, if I expand the same thing with, let's say, with the HTTP protocol, now we can see this, right? Whatever that we have seen from the network tab, it is, we are just seeing it. So I'll once again show it to you. I'm going to network. So network tab will give us the traffic, the network traffic that is happening between the client and the server. So client, this machine is the client. Okay, server is the this whichever the host that we are launching, that is the server. Okay, so this is happening. So it's a communication happening between client and the server, and these are the let's say the requests that are getting populated. So it's getting downloaded. As you can see, there are these information. So 21 requests get triggered, and these much got transferred resources. There's a document object model content, and there's a load. So all this information we can also see. So this is on the network tab. The same thing. So this is on the launch. You can see this, right? Catalog.action. This is the HTML document. Okay, catalog.action. If I click on this, if I look at this request, it is going to be more or less very similar. Even with the response, it's going to be similar. So if I go here, go to advanced, recorded request, okay, and its corresponding response, it's going to be similar. And it continues, so it's going to record all the network traffic, that is the requests, okay, and that's how HTTP script is generated. Whereas here, so we have to look in a different way. So we see this, right? In this web page, there are this links again, some images, or some more links, some buttons. Okay, so every element that we are seeing will have some unique address. This address is usually represented in a path of XPath value, or a selector, CSS selector, or there are other values as well. Okay, so to access this, we have to simply right click on inspect. Okay, so this will take to element. So as you can see, if I move around, you can see this, right? Some element is getting highlighted. So every element will have, even there is a gap, right, between fish and dogs. Even this is an element. Okay, it's like, as you can see, same thing. If I look at this side, if I move around, see this, right? Fine. So real browser works, employs using these address. Like, so it is going to directly access which element is getting clicked, or how the script is developed during the recording, the same way. Okay, you see this, right? So this is the navigation. So it's going to navigate to this link. Click on image. So this is the selector I was talking. So there is a XPath value, as I said. So an ID gets created, it gets assigned, and this happens automatically. Okay, so how we are going to develop it, or let's say modify the script, we have to employ these elements to work with. Okay, so that's the distinct difference. We will also, as we progress, we will be learning more on where to employ real browser, where to employ HTTP, which is best for which tech stack, that we will discuss as we progress. Yeah, any questions so far on this recap on this difference between this HTTP and real browser? uh, to know, I'll come back to you. I'll take your question once. Anybody has any clarifications on this, what I just spoke so far?
Naveen, do we need to include embedded resources also?
Embedded
Hello.
resources for
In
which
the
one?
HTTP request, in the HTTP, like you have included like GIF, JSON and all, right? JS images and all under the request.
See, from the standard perspective, we will not include it any embedded resources. But if your application, let's say it is resource intensive application. Okay. See, for example, uh, so if I go to this web page, so this is one of the popular brand of for makeup. Okay. So let's see how long it takes to load. It's still loading. No, it's completed. Okay, you can see this, right? So around 10 plus MB of resource got downloaded. Uh, okay, and if you see this is a kind of a business that that completely depends on the images. The see how colorful it is, right? And if you look at any other such let's say businesses, there is one more clinic. Sorry, clear this. Clinic. Yeah, even with this, right? You see this, right? So if a business is highly dependent on the images, and you see how much resources is getting downloaded. Okay, so such businesses, there is no way they cannot ignore uh, the embedded resources. They have to include it, and that will be a part of the objective. Okay, so it depends on
So
the business whether if they have to enable it or disable it. It really depends on the business, and yeah, that's how it is. Okay.
So these images are part of load testing.
Yes, it should be.
Yes.
Like I said, if it is, see, it's like this. Okay, see, nowadays there is a lot of streaming services, right? This Netflix and other things. So how are you going to do performance testing? Okay, let's take another example. This now IPL is going on, right? There is some, or any popular sports that happens. How are they going to do performance uh, benchmark? So it's a video, right? It's a streaming. Anybody can open their app and then can access, and they have to get the right response. Even I'm seeing with the with the current sometimes what happens, something went wrong, you refresh, I'm getting that such kind of notifications. It is all due to some glitch in the performance. So how do they do? So their entire business is now dependent on the video, right? So that's a media thing. So similarly here also, it is it is like that. That is their business is highly dependent on these images. And you see this, right? A number of scripts that I'm seeing in the backend, because it's, if you want to change the color, it should be like that. Okay, fine. Any other questions? Okay, okay, Tunu, yes. So yeah, I would like to open the floor. You were having some questions. Yeah, I would like to answer.
Hi Naveen, just help me
I,
out to understand that how that HTTP request, whenever you are going to do, how it works, and if you are going to make it the script running by using your real browser, or by what are the scripts you have really developed through TrueClient, or what are the protocols are there, and how it behaves.
okay, so you want to know how means, can can
in
you?
in Whenever you are going to reply your HTTP
Mhm.
scripts, in how it because it's not a reply through browser, right? It's a reply.
No, it is, yes, yeah, okay, fine. I will show you. I will show
Yeah.
you
Okay.
both now. Okay, so I would
Sorry,
like to,
who is this? This is Sifte Faruqi. I joined from Atlanta. How much
I,
time I lost? Is it just started or it's been 5-10 minutes?
so it's been 20 minutes.
Okay, never mind. I just keep quiet and try to conceive. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, welcome, Faruqi.
What is your
I'll
name?
circle.
What
I'm
is your
Naveen.
name? Naveen. Yeah, I was your old student. I don't know you remember, but I need to. This is Dynatrace, right?
No, this is NeoLoad.
Oh, NeoLoad. Okay. Anyhow, okay. No problem. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure, I'll circle back to you later.
Mhm.
Okay, let me uh, replay this script. Okay, this. So again, I would like to refresh it. So what we were discussing. So I would like to just show you the flow. So going to the launch, then click on this fish, okay, fish, dogs, reptiles, and then coming back to main menu. So the same thing. So I'm changing handle cache to new user, start checking. So currently I'm replaying only the HTTP script. Okay. So for now I have chosen to include all the embedded resources, that is the non-HTML resources, as a part of the script. Okay. So this is how HTTP script gets executed, right? So it's now the communication is on the request level, that is the network traffic level. So a request gets triggered. So this tool will simulate how a network traffic is simulated in a browser. Okay, so that's the simulation we just saw. I would like to also execute or run real browser. Okay, so with real browser, right, it is little different. What happens? It is going to initiate a Chromium testing framework, and whatever the user actions that I recorded is going to be replicated. So a direct browser simulation happens with real browser, and that is the reason real browser consumes more memory and CPU. So the cost of execution is higher with real browser, but one major advantage is it will resolve all kinds of complexity that we see, that we face with HTTP due to the dynamic values variables. As you can see, a Chromium testing framework has got launched. Okay, so this is now controlled by NeoLoad, and you see this there is a blue Chromium Chrome icon. So this is a testing framework. So the web page has been launched. Whatever, how much time I took to move to a different transaction, you see this, right? The fish got clicked, then it goes to dogs, then reptiles, and then going back to main menu. Now it is in the dogs. Now it is in the reptiles. Now it will, so when it is making a click, right, you can see there is a red box. Okay, so to indicate where exactly it is clicking. Okay, so now the Chromium instance got closed. Okay, so that is the difference with HTTP and real browser. Did that answer your question, to know? So real HTTP is based on the network traffic, Okay. So any other questions? Anybody has any other questions? Hi Satya, welcome. Good morning. Okay, so I don't think any further questions. So let me continue. So this is the day one session usually. So let me continue with that. So introduction to performance. Okay, so performance testing is to determine the performance of the application under load. So under load, there are different kinds of let's say circumstances or scenario, and we will be learning about that as well. So why do we need a performance testing? Why a business is required performance testing? Loss of business. So performance nowadays, you see this, right? Most of it has gone online. Everything happens online, right? If the web website or if the application is not opening, or it does not, if there is no response, so it's a loss of business. It's like as if the store is not opened. So if it is faster the website, more the revenue. If the user experience is really good, performance is good, everything is going smooth, so likely the user will come back and make the purchases. Of course, we have to look at any business, right? That that is highly scalable and it is stable, and also performance is on looking at the robustness of the application of the system. So there are different kinds of performance tests. So performance testing is not one type. Okay, so let's look at some of them. Load test, this is application under peak user load. Stress test is to determine the application breakpoint. That is how long the system can endure the load, right? Soak test is to determine the stability. So usually this is run for a longer period of time. Smoke is usually for warm-up test or validation. Spike is like to simulate a sudden jump in the user load. Capacity is to test various user loads. So like this, there are different kinds, and we will be learning some of the important kinds of performance tests, how this can be translated into a scenario, what are the things that we have to look at. We'll be learning all of them. Okay. So workflow. Uh, so what is a workflow? Workflow is just a series of user actions. Okay, that is called as a workflow. So I'm just taking an example. Okay, so any application launch, maybe searching something, and then click that link. Let me go, let me launch wiki. So wiki is my launch, and I'm searching something like testing, and I'm clicking on this test. I got this as the final page. So as an end user, my launch is one of my user action. I'm searching here, that is another user action, and I'm clicking on search, that is another one, final one. So whatever the actions that is performed by the end user is going to be called as user actions. Okay. So that is a series of user actions is going to be called as a workflow. And this is the keyword that we will be using, workflow. So with from performance perspective, we will not call this as a user actions, but it's a transaction. Transaction is the keyword is used in performance testing. Transaction can be a group of requests that belongs to one user action. Means if I, let's say I launch, again I'm bringing up the Google Chrome developer tool. I'm in the network tab. I'm refreshing. Okay, so this is the launch. You see this, right? Now a bunch of requests that got triggered, that is making up this entire page. Okay, so it starts from the document, which is the HTML document, and followed by a lot of embedded resources. Let's say I search, that is my second. Okay, where is the search one? Okay, now I see. So let's say testing, I'm searching something. Refresh this, click on search. So after searching, again you can see this, right? There are few requests. So that is the group of requests which is belong to one. Okay, a simple client server architecture. So let's look at this. So we were just discussing about this. It's a client. So client sends a request to the server, and server responds to the client. So this is called as a request, whichever client sends it, and server response called as a response. So the entire performance testing is just based on this: a request and a response. Client is sending something, and server is responding to something. Okay, and how quickly the server can respond to the client, we have to identify it. So it's to determine the, let's say, the performance, the response of an application, right? So that is all about it. Response code, I think this itself a topic. Okay, let's explore this. So any questions on this client server? So in a way, these are like a client has triggered the first request, okay, and then it a subsequent series of requests also got created. It's like that. So this machine is the client, and wiki is the server. Any questions? Okay. So response code itself is going to be a huge topic. So I would like to park it, and maybe I would like to once again recap on what about myself. I see some new folks have joined. Okay. So yes, I'm Naveen. I'm a certified expert in NeoLoad. So I have worked across different domains like retail, banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, etc. I have over 900 hours of live training experience. So about the course, you can see a live uh, Q&A clarifications every session. Okay. Window of time will be opened for you to clarify your questions. Okay. All the sessions are recorded, and you'll be given access to the recorded sessions. And of course, this is another one, live troubleshooting sessions. If you are stuck with any technical challenge, I'll make you a presenter. You can share your screen, and I'll help you troubleshooting your issues. Of course, towards the end of the session, I'll also guide you how you can achieve the professional certification. So I'll guide you on the best practices that can be employed to clear the certification. Clearing the certification adds a good weightage for your profile. So these are the topics that we'll be discussing, largely into performance testing concepts, NeoLoad's features and its functionalities, both the protocols HTTP and real browser, and all of this is going to be practical demonstrations. So all the scripts will be created, developed live and demonstrated, and parallelly you can also create it, and if you have any questions you can get it clarified. You can expect 4 sessions per week, and each session is going to be between 1 to 1.5 hours, and there can be a total of 18 to 20 sessions. Optional practical lab sessions also conducted during the weekend, and this is for folks who are clearly starting out, right? If they need lab session support, we will be also providing that. Okay, so that's the uh, intro I would like to provide. So yes, I would like to open the floor for further questions. If there are no questions, I think we can wrap up.
So, Naveen, like you mentioned, practical sessions weekend.
Hmm?
So, I mean, you are going to start that?
Yes, we will be having a practical sessions. So we will be working together.
Okay, I mean, it's on weekend, you are saying, right?
Yeah, this will happen on weekend, any one Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. Let me know when you are going to start that, like tomorrow or next weekend.
No, so we will be let's say covering few topics. Okay, so this will
Hmm.
come after like 2 weeks of sessions,
Okay, okay.
covering few topics, and there will be uh, certain exercises that you have to do from your end uh, daily, not daily. It's like just like a simple scripting, right? So you're also confident from the hands-on perspective, so you are like at least ready to deliver the projects. Okay,
Okay.
so after like 2.5 weeks of sessions, we will be announcing on the practical demonstration, sorry, practical lab sessions. Okay, any other questions? Satya, can you hear us?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, you can also use chat box if you want to speak. So yeah, hi. So I think I believe this is your first session. Okay, fine. Fine, guys. I will request you to go through those previous demo sessions. I think if there are no further queries, we will wrap the session. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.